Welcome to Classic Radio Drama Theater. In this episode, we're bringing you a collection of classic radio gems, each offering a unique glimpse into different lives and different worlds. We'll explore the challenges of faith, the bonds of community, the unpredictable world of show business, and the joys of unexpected parenthood. 4 diverse stories, 4 captivating journeys, all in one episode. First, you travel to a struggling parish with the Screen Guild Players' presentation of Going My Way. A new, progressive priest arrives, bringing with him methods that challenge the old ways. Will his fresh perspective breathe new life into the church, or will it clash irrevocably with the established order?
Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild Players. The Lady Esther Screen Guild play tonight? But just a moment, that's something extra special. And here is one of your favorite stars to tell you about it, the president of the Screen Actors Guild, George Murphy.
Thank you, Truman Bradley. Hello, everybody. It's nice to be here. This is a red letter, or I should say a Red Book Day for us. Tonight, we're going to present the Red Book Magazine Awards for the finest screen performances and the finest direction of the past year. And just to put the frosting on the cake, we bring you the 2 Red Book winners and highlights from the picture that won them their awards. One of these talented performers is a lovable old codger, one of my favorite actors. He's done lots of grand things on the screen before, but he really tops himself and the rest of them with the latest performance in a role that stamps him as a great artist.
Ah, come on now, Mr. Murphy. As one Irishman to another, is it the Blarney Stone you've kissed? Sure, it was the role that made the man and not the other way about.
Oh, yes, folks, you've guessed it. There's only one brogue like that this side of the old sod. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Barry Fitzgerald. Of course, you're all way ahead of me now. You know that Red Book makes its annual award to Barry Fitzgerald and Bing Crosby for their memorable performances in the Paramount picture Going My Way. And if you're wondering by any chance where Crosby is, well, I have a hunch that you're going to hear from him, too. Yes, you will.
This road leads to Rainbowville, going my way. Up ahead is Bluebird Hill, going my way. Just pack a basket full of wishes, and off you start with Sunday morning in your heart. Round the bend you'll see a sign, Dreamer's Highway. Happiness
You make him sound awful sweet. You know, Der Bingle has done a heap of traveling in his day. He's been on more roads than you could shake a camera at. To Morocco, to Zanzibar, Utopia, and more recently to Europe, where he sang for the boys right up in the front lines. It's no secret what they thought of him over there. After one of his appearances, the headline in the GI paper said, quote, Bing went the strings of our heart. Yes, sir, Bing has cavorted on many a road. I don't know how they meant that, Bing.
I don't.
But, ladies and gentlemen, it took Leo McCarey, another Red Book winner, and one of Hollywood's most imaginative producers, to put him on still another one. A different kind of a road this time, the road to St. Dominic's Church. Look, Bing, give us the inside, will you? How did you feel about playing a priest?
Well, I was a little worried at first, but one of my friends sold me on trying it.
Who?
My palsied pal with the protracted proboscis.
I mean the future king of the poultry market, Bob Hope.
I do not mean Snowflake, dear boy. Bob had his heart set on my being a padre.
Why?
So I couldn't get the girl in the last reel.
He's a jealous cat. Tell me, Bing, once you started the picture, how did you like it?
Well, just between us, George, I'll confess to a bit of palpitation. Frankly, I wondered if I'd be accepted.
By the public?
Well, by the public, sure, but even more than that, by Father Fitzgibbon.
Oh.
You see, I was being sent to his parish, and the old boy had been there for 45 years. Naturally, just before meeting him, I was a bit on the nervous side.
Oh, sure. I know what you mean. I know the feeling. You pull your coat down and you fix your collar.
I wasn't wearing one.
No coat?
No collar either. You see, on my way to the rectory, I'd got mixed up in a baseball game with some of the neighborhood kids, and a high fly came my way just about the same time as a wandering street sprinkler. The only dry things I had along were some old slacks and a baseball shirt. So when I got to the rectory, I changed to them and went down to Father Fitzgibbon's study, walked in and said, "Hello, Father. I'm your new priest."
No. It isn't possible. The bishop may hold a grudge against me. He may think I've got a mouthful of clover and can't preach. But even the bishop wouldn't do a thing like this to me.
Oh, this baseball shirt, Father. Yes, I see what you mean.
Young man, may I ask if that's the official garb of our order in St. Louis?
Oh, no, it's just a souvenir. I used to work out with the St. Louis Browns while I was in college.
Am I to understand, then, that you'll be carrying on with your college ways and your college clothes?
What's the only clean thing I could change to, Father? I had a little trouble on the way over. You mind if I light my pipe?
Oh, not at all.
Thanks.
But must you spill your tobacco on the floor?
Oh, I'm sorry, Father. I'll clean it up. Just let me get this old heater started and... striking a match on the seat of my pants. It's a nasty habit, I know, Father.
Indeed. Well, the seat of one's pants, I'm thinking, was designed by Providence for more important things. Here's the ashtray. There's a proper place to be striking your match.
Thanks, Father. I'll be careful to... Whoop!
No, the ashtray, too.
Oh, I told you, this just wasn't my day.
Young man, there's only one thing that you haven't told me. How did you ever come to be a priest?
Oh, that's a very cute scene, Bing. I remember it in the picture very well indeed. You know, it must have been fun working with an actor like Barry Fitzgerald. I said it must have been fun working with... Well, what's the matter? Didn't you two get along?
Oh, sure, we got along. Well, I want to give you a little tip, George. If you ever do a picture with Barry Fitzgerald, just be sure that your scenes are riveted down. It's the only way to keep that Irishman from stealing them.
Wait now. Just a moment, me young bucko. If there was any thieving done, it was yourself that did it. One scene after another, plain downright larceny.
Petty larceny. They were small scenes.
Small scenes, you say? And what about the one at the dinner table? I'd just like to ask you who stole that scene.
The dinner scene?
Uh-huh.
Well, you?
Oh, no.
Oh, yes.
Oh,
yeah.
Now, wait a minute, you two. I think we can settle this argument right here and now. By a very strange coincidence, that dinner scene is in our script. By another coincidence...
I know.
We rehearsed that very scene this afternoon. You've not touched your soup tonight, Father O'Malley. Is it worried you are?
I guess so, Father. Some of the kids in the neighborhood did a bit of stealing this afternoon.
Did they now?
Mm-hmm.
Well, the police will be taking care of them. Now, you just be thinking of your appetite. I've a little surprise for you tonight.
Something special?
Yeah, a gift from one of our parishioners. So to speak, from heaven itself. Very well, Mrs. Carmody. You can come in now.
I just took it out of the oven, Father. There it is. And done just right. a nice golden brown.
Ah, hot turkey.
Hot. Of course it's hot. And I'll go bring the coffee out.
You know, there's nothing I'm more partial to than a fine tom turkey. I think I'll just be carving this fine, beautiful bird.
Hey, Father, you know a youngster named Tony Scapone?
Now, what about him?
Well, this afternoon...
Now, Tony comes from a good, upstanding Catholic family. As fine a lad as there is in the parish.
Well, the police don't think so.
Oh, they don't, huh?
No. And if something isn't done about it, young Tony and his pals will wind up in a reform school.
And who told you that?
Officer McCarthy?
Patrick McCarthy. Oh, sure, that fella hasn't been to Mass in the last 10 years.
Well, maybe not, but he's right about those kids.
The way the police talk, you'd think every lad in the parish was a criminal. I'd have you know that the very food before us was put here by two of the very lads the police are so maliciously slandering. And Tony Scapone was one of them. I gave them my blessing.
And they gave you the bird.
Well, now, what will you be having, Father O'Malley? The light meat or the dark?
Nothing, thanks. I'm really not hungry.
Oh, it's too bad, too bad. Well, now let me see now. There was something I was meaning to ask you.
What made me become a priest?
No. No, it was about young Tony. What was it the police were accusing him of?
Stealing, Father.
Stealing? Stealing what?
Turkeys?
Turkey. And did the poor man get his turkey back?
Yes, Father.
Ah.
All but one.
Well, Bing, I don't think either of you stole that one. I think that dinner scene was nip and tuck.
That's funny. I thought it was Bibb and Tucker.
All right, just keep your mind on food. But, brother, you're going to have to sing for it. So how about one of those tunes that you did with the choir?
Well, George, the choir is here, and I'm here. If these old ears don't deceive me, there's a 4-bar introduction to Swinging on a Star. How would you like to swing on a star? How'd you like to carry moonbeams in a big fat jar? On being better off than you are? Or would you rather be a mule? A mule is an animal with long, funny ears. Kicks up at anything he hears. His back is brawny, but his brain is weak. He's just plain stupid with a stubborn streak. And by the way, if you hate to go to school, you might grow up to be a mule. Or would you like to swing on a star? Carry moonbeams home in a jar, and be better off than you are? Or would you rather be a pig? A pig is an animal with dirt on his face. His shoes are a terrible disgrace. He has no manners when he eats his food. He's fat and lazy and extremely rude. But if you don't care a feather or a fig, you might grow up to be a pig. Or would you like to swing on a star? Carry moonbeams home in a jar, and be better off than you are? Or would you rather be a fish? A fish won't do anything but swim in a brook. He can't write his name or read a book. To fool the people is his only thought, and though he's slippery, he still gets caught. But then if that sort of life is what you wish, you might grow up to be a fish. New kind of jumped up slippery fish. And all the monkeys aren't in the zoo. Every day you meet quite a few. That's what you do. So you see, it's all up to you. You can be better than you are. You can be swinging on a star.
You know, Bing, the whole country is singing those songs from Going My Way. You certainly had some swell tunes in the picture.
Oh, you bet, George. Johnny Burke and Jimmy Van Heusen did a good job. But we had a fine script, too. Believe me, Georgie, the whole thing was an actor's dream.
Scenes that you could really get your teeth into.
Oh, I'll say. You take that dinner scene, for example. Roast turkey with stuffing, whole brown potatoes, giblet gravy, hot rolls.
Oh, I know, Bing. The writers were under contract to Tums.
Could be.
Tell me, what other scenes did you like?
Well, I like the golf course scenes, of course.
Oh, of course.
We shot those on my home club out at Lakeside. Sort of like that.
Naturally.
Oh, you imagine slicing out of bounds and getting paid for it?
On the level, though, Bing, what would you say was your favorite scene in the picture?
Well, George, that's kind of putting me on a spot. There's so many scenes in the picture that I like, but one of my favorites was the scene in the study. You see, Father Fitzgibbon had sent for me, and when I went in, he looked at me very quietly, and he said,
I'd like a word with you, Father O'Malley. Sit down. You'll find the chair behind the desk there very comfortable.
That's your chair, Father. This one will do for me. What goes?
Well, I've been to see the bishop.
Well, that's so. That's fine.
And I want to be frank with you. My purpose was to have you transferred.
Oh, I'm sorry you don't like me, Father.
I don't dislike anyone. It's just that I disagree with you.
Of course. What did the bishop say when you told him?
He didn't say anything. You see, I didn't get around to telling him.
Well, what happened?
Do you mind if I tell it in my own way?
Of course not, Father.
Well, the bishop received me most cordially. He said I was looking very well for my age, and then he congratulated me on my 45 years at St. Dominic's. He said it would always be a monument to the fact that I built it.
Coming from the bishop, that's a fine compliment.
Compliment? No, it's an epitaph. Well, then I told him that I'd come to talk about you. That seemed to disturb him. He began to tell me what a fine young man you were, capable, progressive, how much confidence he had in you. Yes, he even told me that he had a nice talk with you before you reported to me.
Did he?
Of course, he didn't tell me what you talked about. He didn't have to. I could read it in the good man's eyes. When you get to my age, you can do that, you know. And knowing what was on his mind and to spare him the embarrassment of having to tell me, you know, the bishop wouldn't hurt anyone. Well, I put him at his ease. Bishop, I said, the very thing that in your mind is in mine. I want you to put young Father O'Malley in charge of St. Dominic's.
You did?
Under the circumstances, a forgivable falsehood. The bishop seemed much relieved. He complimented me on my ability to think so clearly at my age.
Then what happened?
That was all. So now, you are in charge. And if my cooperation means anything, I want you to know that you'll have it. Is there anything you'd like me to do, I mean, now?
No, Father.
Well, then, if you don't mind, I'll lie down for a while before dinner. When you and the bishop had your little talk, it was more or less along those lines, wasn't it? Yes, I thought so.
Bing, I see what you mean. I don't blame you for liking that scene. And Barry, you certainly cut yourself a gorgeous slice of acting in that one.
Well, frankly, my boy, if you'll allow me to make the observation, the scene in my bedroom was more to my taste.
Oh, now don't tell me this is more food.
That's just the half of it. You see, he'd been out in the rain all night. And then about midnight, he came stealing home, just like a little boy. And Mrs. Carmody and I hustled him off to bed. Then she fed him a good hot meal. And after that...
I'm sorry to be causing you so much trouble.
No trouble. Let me feel your hand. Father, you're still cold. You need something to warm you up. You wouldn't have a wee drop of the Gracie about, would you?
Huh?
Well, it'll stop you from catching cold.
Oh, you really think it would?
Yeah, I'll have one with you. I was out, too. Get an evening paper.
Ah, well, in that case, if you look in the bookcase yonder.
Which shelf, Father?
You'll find it behind the life of General Grant. Yes, it's a present from me mother.
Is this it? You mean this little box?
That's right. Now, if you'll just open it.
Oh, what do you know? A music box. Liquid music inside. A bit of old Ireland, eh?
Yes. Every Christmas since I left, me old mother sends me one bottle. With a degree of abstinence, it becomes me calendar. I get a little behind during Lent, but it comes out even at Christmas. You see, there's me mother's picture there on the wall.
Oh, she's very beautiful.
Of course, that was taken some time ago. She's 90 now. You know, I always planned that as soon as I got a few dollars ahead, I'd go back to the old country and see me mother. Would you believe it? Now, that was 45 years ago, and every time I get a few dollars ahead...
I know. There was always someone who seemed to need it more than you. Anyway, let's drink to your mother, huh?
To my mother. Ah, you'd like my mother. Yes, and she'd like you. She has a song in her heart, too. Yes, she was always singing around the house. Me boy, do you by any chance know Tooraloo? If you do, would it be asking you too much to...
Tooraloo,
That's it, that's right, that's it. Ah, that's good. Ah, it's very good to come home again.
That's an Irish lullaby.
Thank you, Bing Crosby and Barry Fitzgerald, and thank you, George Murphy, for helping to make this such a delightful evening. And now, the Red Book Magazine Awards. Following an annual custom tonight, Lady Esther plays host to Red Book Magazine as it honors the outstanding performances and the finest screen direction of 1944. And following another friendly tradition, the 1943 winners, who appeared in Warner Brothers' picture, The Watch on the Rhine, return to the Screen Guild stage this evening to make the presentation of the Red Book Cup. Speaking for them is a great artist and one of your favorite stars. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Paul Lucas.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for myself, for Miss Betty Davis, and for the two other members of last year's winning cast who are here with me tonight. Miss Geraldine Fitzgerald and Mr. George Coloris. You know, when critics want to be nice to an actor, they say, he gave a sterling performance. But I don't think that's quite enough for Bing Crosby or Barry Fitzgerald or for Leo McCarey, who directed them in Going My Way. What those three did was 24-karat gold. And as I hand them this cup, I have only one thought. Bing, Barry, and Leo, my very good friends, this cup is awarded to you by the Red Book magazine through its editor, Mr. Edwin Balmer, and its motion picture critic, Mr. Thornton de la Hente. It is a beautiful cup. But even more than that, it is a beautiful symbol. A symbol of all the millions of people whose cup of happiness you filled with the warm and moving story you put on the screen. You must be very proud to receive this cup. And believe me, I am proud to present it to you.
Thanks, Paul, for all of it. Talk about being filled with happiness. I'm loaded. I got all I can handle. Barry, I guess you'll have to carry the ball.
Well, Bing, there isn't really much that I can say, except perhaps that in times like these, with one half of the world hating the other half, it's good to stop and try to remember that there are still some gentle people left, the kind of men that you and I played in the picture. Leo, it was a courageous story to do it this time, and I'm sure we're all very thankful to you.
Wait a minute, Barry. That's my line. I'm the one who's thankful. To you and Bing, and of course to Risa Stevens, and to Frank McHugh, who's somewhere near Germany tonight, entertaining the boys who are holding that line. With a gang like that, and the rest of my cast, how could I go wrong?
With a story like that, how could a fella help but do a little thinking, Leo? Sure, the world's got a pretty bad headache right now, but one of these days it's going to wake up smiling. There's a lot of good left on this tired old globe, and all we need is a chance to find it. That's what those boys over there are fighting for, and they'll fight a lot harder, and they'll feel a lot better if you write to them and tell them what you're saving for them here at home. And by the way, use V-mail. You can say a lot more, a lot faster. Now we've got to say goodnight. Our thanks to Red Book, to Lady Esther, and to all of you.
And now, before we tell you about next week's program, here's a word from one of America's foremost beauty authorities, Lady Esther.
Seeing is believing. That's why I want you to see with your own eyes exactly what happens when you apply Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream. I want you to take half a minute to prove how much fresher and lovelier your skin will look than it's ever looked before. You can make my simple test in the time you count 30. And surely the great improvement in your appearance is worth 30 seconds. Just do this. Rub Lady Esther face cream on one cheek, then wipe it off and run your fingers over that cheek. Feel the difference. Feel how smooth and silky it is to your touch. Now powder that cheek and see the difference. See how the dull, drab look is gone, how your skin has taken on new life and vitality, a translucent new beauty. You see, Lady Esther face cream does the 4 things your skin needs most. 1, it thoroughly cleans your skin. 2, it softens your skin. 3, it helps nature refine the pores. And 4, it leaves a smooth, perfect base for powder. Remember, you can prove all this in just 30 seconds, half a minute, with the Lady Esther patch test. Call your drugstore right now and ask them to send you a jar of Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream tonight.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
From a clash of traditions, we journey to a school facing an uncertain future. Staying with the Screen Guild players, we present the Bells of St. Mary's. A determined nun holds on to hope that her dilapidated school can be saved. But can faith alone work miracles, or will practical realities force its doors to close?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight, Lady Esther brings you a rare treat, one of the most tender and beautiful screen stories of the past year, Leo McCary's The Bells of St. Mary's. It stars Bing Crosby as Father O'Malley, Ingrid Bergman as Sister Benedict, and Joan Carroll as Patsy. Lady Esther presents the Screen Guild players in The Bells of St. Mary's.
Bells of St. Mary's. Just a school song, you might say, and yet for some, it was a hymn, a litany, a dedication. Oh, they tell me I made quite a splash at St. Mary's. The very first day I arrived, in fact. You see, Sister Benedict was head of the school, and she thought I needed a formal introduction.
Children, this is our new pastor, Father O'Malley, and I'm sure he has something very important to say to you. Father?
Well, children, you're going to see a lot of me in the future. I'm going to be around here a great deal, so you're going to hear the shortest speech ever made. This is a holiday. Everybody take the day off.
Father O'Malley.
Pretty effective speech, huh?
Oh, I'm sure they loved it.
Well, when we were kids, we used to just live for holidays. You know, We should never get too far away from our childhood.
But you can't call a holiday just like that. You have to get permission of the superintendent of schools. Father, what will we tell the superintendent?
Well, I might give him a holiday, too.
Oh, Father.
Father, would you like to look around the school?
No time like the present, Sister Michael, without all those youngsters underfoot. It's a lot different from my school, all right. See, I could look out the window and see fields and trees and the old swimming hole. You know, hang your clothes on a hickory limb and the last one out finds them tied up in knots.
Where, Father?
Missouri. Where'd you come from, sister?
Well, I was born in Sweden, but when I was very young, I came to...
Up. Don't tell me. Minnesota.
Well, that's right, Father. I love the winter. I used to ski to school, and there was one big hill.
Oh, and then you had to carry him home afterwards.
Yes.
You wouldn't believe it, Father, but Sister Benedict was a tomboy, from what I hear.
So?
Oh, I must admit I played baseball with boys.
I guess you were pretty good with the stick.
I used to hit over 300.
Well, that was in the wheat belt. I guess we all had it better than these kids, though. They don't even have a place to play.
That used to be our playground over there.
Where that new building's going up?
Yes, we had to sell the ground.
We needed the money to fix our school. They were going to condemn it.
You know, it's too bad you don't have a nice new building like that one they're putting up over there. That would be the answer to everything.
Confidentially, Father. That's what we've been praying for.
You've been praying for what?
That the owner will wake up one morning and give it to us.
That who will wake up when and give you what?
Mr. Bogardus, the owner.
No, wait a minute. Let's be practical. Let's face it. Does Mr. Bogardus know anything about it? Has anyone asked him?
No, we've just prayed.
We're relying on you to help us, Father. We thought you might talk to Mr. Bogardus.
Well, I'll be glad to, sister. Only one thing.
What?
What'll I do when he says no? Well, now, what do you think Bogardus told me?
No!
Yes, he sure did. In about 7 different ways. Then he made me a counteroffer. He wanted to buy the old school and tear it down for a parking lot. Frankly, I was a little more than on his side. St. Mary's was old, and there was a new school not too far away. I was all for recommending the sale, except I hadn't figured on Sister Benedict. St. Mary's was more than a school to her. It was a shrine. And while she'd laugh with me when we differed over little things, well, she'd fight for the big things to her last breath. The big things. I guess they began with Patsy Gallagher. Or should I say with Patsy's mother?
You see, Father, my husband left me a long time ago. 13 years, to be exact, before Patsy was born.
You raised her yourself? You've been supporting her all this time?
Mm-hmm. I suppose you're wondering as to how. So is she. She's getting to be a big girl now, Father. She's beginning to think I'm no good. I want to put her in your care before she finds out she's right.
Well, I feel anyone who's as much concerned about her daughter as you are isn't doing too badly. If there was anything really wrong with you, you wouldn't give a darn.
Then you'll take her, Father? She can live here at the school?
Well, I think it can be arranged. I'll make a deal with you.
Yes?
I'll take care of Patsy, and you take care of yourself.
Yes? Oh, it's you, Patsy. Come in.
You sent for me, Sister Benedict?
Yes, I wanted to talk to you. I'm concerned about the way you're falling behind in your studies. Now, if the work's too hard for you, I'll be glad to help. If there's anything I can do...
Oh, I don't think so, Sister. I guess I'm just sort of a featherhead.
Don't you like school? Is it something else? Oh, you're holding back on me, Patsy. What's troubling you?
Nothing, Sister.
If you only would work a little harder, you would get good marks. And we can send your mother a good report card. Oh, you want your mother to be proud of you, don't you? Well, if you won't even talk to me... All right, Patsy, you may go.
Thank you, Sister.
Hi, Pat.
Father?
How's she doing, sister?
I'm afraid not very well.
No? Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Father, when we accepted this child, it was on your recommendation. We know very little about her parents. What kind of a home life did she have?
Oh, you know, the usual...
You said you met her mother.
Yes, I met her.
Do you know Mrs. Gallagher well?
Yes. Yeah, you might say I know her quite well.
And her father, did you meet him?
No, but heard about him.
Are they separated?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, is there anything else that I should know? Anything that would help?
Well, no, that's all that I...
Care to tell?
Yes, that's all.
Did anyone ever tell you that you have a dishonest face? For a priest, I mean.
I thought I'd drop in tonight, Patsy. See, how are you doing? How are you doing?
Not too well, Father.
What's the problem?
It's an essay, Father. The 5 senses.
The 5 senses. Wow. It's an interesting subject. What have you discovered about them?
Nothing. See what I mean?
Well, what are the 5 senses, Patsy?
Well, to see, to hear, to taste, to smell, and to feel.
That's right. Who's the essay for?
Sister Benedict.
Sister Benedict. Oh, well, then we'll have to take dead aim on this. See if we can get you an A, Now, let's see. Man is endowed with certain powers which we call the 5 senses. Now, if he has common sense, he'll get great happiness out of life by using these powers within right reason. For instance, you're happy you came to St. Mary's, aren't you?
Oh, yes, Father.
That's what I mean. To be glad you're alive. To be grateful because people are kind to you, and to be able to see some of nature's great wonders, the budding of the flowers in spring, the changing of leaves in the autumn. To be able to appreciate beautiful music. To be conscious of the beauty of tasting and feeling and hearing the things that are good for you. To be aware of why you're here. Oh, I could go on and on and on.
Well, why don't you, Father?
Well, let me see. Isn't that a piano?
Uh-huh.
Well, aren't these hands meant to play it?
Uh-huh.
And I think I will.
What, Father?
Go on and on and on. Every time you're near a rose, aren't you glad you've got a nose? And if the dawn is fresh with dew, aren't you glad you're you? When a meadow lark appears, aren't you glad you've got 2 ears? And if your heart is singing too, aren't you glad you're you? You can see a summer sky, or touch a friendly hand, or taste an apple pie. Pardon the grammar, but ain't life grand? And when you wake up each morn, aren't you glad that you were born? Think what you've got the whole day through. Aren't you glad you're you? Well, Patsy, I'll leave you with those few little thoughts. What do you make of them?
Well, Father, if you can't appreciate your 5 senses, then your life isn't worth 5 cents.
That's good. Great. Well, I hope you do all right tomorrow.
Thank you, Father. I feel much better.
You know something? I feel pretty good myself.
Quiet, children. Everybody quiet now. We are very fortunate in having Father O'Malley with us today. So we'll read some of our compositions aloud. Luther?
Luther, how'd he get in here?
We never knew. All right, Luther.
5 senses. I like the taste of ice cream cones, especially strawberry. I like to listen to the Lone Ranger on Kyle Silver. I like to smell hot dogs at the ballpark. I like to feel, well, good.
Now, don't laugh, children, don't laugh. Luther means he wants to be a good boy. He wants to feel good inside. Don't you, Luther?
No, sister. What I meant to feel good is like when the bell rings at 3 o'clock, or when it's Easter vacation, better still. That's what I meant to feel good.
Well, after all, Father, it has both honesty and imagination. Thank you, Luther. Now, you, Patsy.
The 6 senses.
The subject I gave you was the 5 senses.
Well, I chose for my subject 6 senses.
Well, go on, Patsy, go on.
The 6 senses: to see, to hear, to taste, to smell, to feel, and to be. And the most important is the last. The 6th sense is to be able to enjoy the other 5 senses properly. To be. That's what really matters. It's like a world inside us, and it's up to us what we make of it, through common sense. Common sense is an internal sense whose function it is to differentiate between the various reports of the senses or to reduce these reports to the unity of a common perception. As William Shakespeare said,
Saved by the bell.
Thank you, Patsy. Now, that was very good. In the name of the Father, and the Son, and the Holy Ghost, amen. All right, children, you may go.
Sister Benedict, I really learned something.
Oh?
Patsy shows a lot of promise. What do you think?
Oh, definitely.
What are you going to give her? A B, perhaps?
Oh, no, I think at least an A.
Good, that's fine.
As a matter of fact, I think it should be an A+, don't you, Father?
I don't know. That might be overdoing it a little.
Oh, but it had a plus quality to it.
Yeah. Well, a girl like Patsy needs a lot of encouragement. She has such a fine mind.
Yes, remarkable. In fact, she has the mentality of a man your age.
Well, yes. There's another sense, you know, sister.
Oh, don't tell me.
Yes, sense enough to know when to leave. Good afternoon.
The second act of the Lady Esther Screen Guild play will follow in a moment. And now the second act of The Bells of St. Mary's, starring Ingrid Bergman, Joan Carroll, and Bing Crosby as Father O'Malley, who continues our story.
You know, the days skip right along when you're busy. A school like St. Mary's can keep you pretty active. Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter, and then almost before I knew it...
Oh, it's beautiful. I love that song. Yes, it's so fresh and gay. Sister Benedict should play it more often.
Maybe spring should come twice a year.
How's that?
Oh, Father O'Malley.
Well, don't let me slow you up. Don't stop. Tell me, do you know Birmingham Bertha?
Oh, Father.
Don't dig it. How about the school song, then?
Oh, yes. Sister Benedict has a new version of it, with effects and everything. She's a bit proud of it.
Oh, then sing that.
Won't you sing the melody, Father?
Sister, you talk me into it.
Ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, ding.
Oh, bells of St. Mary's, we always will love you with your inspiration. We never will fail. Your chime will forever bring sweet memories of you. So proudly ring out while we sing out, Hail, hail, hail. So proudly ring out while we sing out, Hail, hail, hail. Oh, won't you ring them bells? I haven't had a chance to do that in years. Yes, sir, couldn't blow that. Oh, yes, but it wasn't all laughs and music. There were some things that had me plenty worried. For one thing, that building next door was almost completed. Sister Benedict and the others went on praying serenely, confident that it was being finished for them. Of course, no one had bothered to ask Mr. Bogardus. And I shuddered to think what would happen when they did. That was one thing. And the other?
Come in. Oh, hello, Father.
Oh, don't get up. I'm just the pastor here. Well, you're grading the final exams, I see.
Yes, Father.
I ran into some of the girls out in the hall.
You did?
Yes, they were dying of curiosity. I was supposed to come in, and without your knowing it, of course, find out how they did. I presume you opened your heart and passed them all?
All but one, Father. This one.
Patsy? Oh, no.
I am sorry, Father.
Well, this is only one subject.
Well, the others are even worse. Her average is below 60.
Well, she got the date right, and she spelled her name right. Couldn't you give her something for that? Add it up again, huh? Pass her, maybe?
Don't you think the honor of the school means anything?
Well, what about Patsy? She's just beginning to believe in herself. A blow like this, the child may never get over it.
Father, believe me, my heart aches for Patsy. And I've done everything possible to help her, but I must uphold our standards. If you order me to pass her, I shall do so. But her mark remains the same.
Sister, you and I have had our little differences of opinion, but they haven't been important. This is. This is serious. I'm not going to order you to do anything. It's up to you, but...
But she failed.
Father O'Malley, I can't take it, I tell you. All those howling brats around the place. The building's almost done. We'll be opening up pretty soon. How am I going to work with all that noise?
How do I?
Oh, now look here, Father. This is no joke. I'm a sick man. I've got a pretty bad heart.
I wonder why.
What do you mean, why?
Believe me, Mr. Bogardus, that's not just the pastor talking. I've got science on my side. Yes, sir. Scientists say that there's nothing ever wasted in this world, and I was just wondering if that bum ticker of yours might have some purpose.
Father O'Malley, you'd better come quickly.
What's happened?
Sister Benedict had a fainting spell in the chapel. She's quite ill.
I'll come right along.
Excuse me, Father. Is that included?
What?
That sister, I mean. She spends her whole life helping others, and now she's sick. You think that's got a purpose, too?
Who knows? The doctor's on his way, Sister Benedict. How you feeling?
I feel all right. Father, I want to talk to you.
What have I done now?
You've been writing. You've been writing to Mother General, going over my head.
Oh,
Yes, I received a letter from her.
well, I just wrote expressing my own opinion, Sister. Hope this hasn't brought this on.
No. I'm just tired, but you actually considered tearing down St. Mary's and sending our children to St. Victor's.
That's right. I thought about it quite a bit. We have to face facts, Sister.
Yes. Yes, I know what you mean, Father. We've tried so hard not to face facts, but there must always be a St. Mary's.
Of course, Sister. Now, just relax. The doctor should be along any minute. Doctor?
Yes, Father?
How is she?
Well, she's running a little temperature. I understand she's had these attacks before.
So Sister Michael tells me. I hope it's not serious. She's such a remarkable woman.
She certainly is. Didn't even want to talk about herself. Just about that new building next door and Mr. Bogardus.
Yeah, she's done a heap of praying for both.
Well, prayer's a wonderful thing, Father, but if Bogardus ever gives her that building, I'll...
Up now. Nothing spectacular, Doctor.
Well, I hate to see her disillusioned. By the way, Father, how did you happen to call me in?
Oh, I've heard Bogardus talk about you. He talks quite a lot about you.
He talks quite a lot to me. Calls me a dozen times a day.
His heart's pretty bad, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
What are you giving him for? Pills?
Why? Have you got a better prescription?
Well, I knew a fellow once had a very bad heart. In fact, they only gave him 6 months to live. You know, he spent that 6 months doing so much good that he lived to be 90.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
You mean doing good for others is good for a bad heart?
Well, you spend your whole life doing for others, don't you, Doctor?
Why, yes.
How's your heart?
Fine.
Here you are.
Father, are you tampering with the laws of medicine?
Well, we have a good deal in common, Doctor. We're both interested in a good heart.
And you're suggesting, perhaps, that I change my prescription?
You're the doctor. You mustn't ask me what really did it, the sister's prayers or the doctor's persuasion. Frankly, I don't see that it matters with heaven and science teamed up like that. But anyway, just a few days later...
Father O'Malley, you'll never guess the most wonderful thing, a miracle.
So?
Mr. Bogardus just came to see me, and Father, he's going to give us his building. Oh, he just told me. How did you know?
Well, I figured if faith could move mountains, sister, it would certainly budge Bogardus a few steps.
Everyone's so happy around here, Father. I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
Bad news, Doctor?
Sister Benedict, can she be sent away for a while, transferred to some easier job?
What is it, Doctor?
TB. A very early stage, and we're lucky to catch it.
Does she know about it?
Well, normally I'd tell her, but it's such a light case, I don't want to worry her.
Oh, but she'll have to know about it. We can't just send her away.
Don't you people more or less go where you're told without question?
Yeah, we're supposed to have the stamina to take it.
She has plenty of that.
But you don't quite understand, Doctor. You see, Sister and I haven't always agreed on how to run a school. In fact, we recently had one serious difference of opinion. Now, if she's sent away without explanation, why, she's bound to think...
Father, up to here, we were discussing her health, what's best for her. Now we're discussing your feelings.
That's a heck of a way to put it, Dad.
I only want to see her get well.
That's the trouble, Doctor. So do I.
Oh, it's perfect, Father. The building can be used as a school with hardly any alteration. as if God himself had been the architect.
That's fine.
And now we can finally tear down our old school, and that can become our playground. Oh, it is all so wonderful. And I am tired.
You've been working too hard.
Oh, it's just all the excitement. Oh, Father, I am so happy. I have only one more wish.
One wish?
Yes, that we have no more misunderstandings. Serious ones, I mean.
Like Patsy, hmm? You still disagree with me, don't you?
Father, sometimes we must do things that aren't easy. No matter how much they hurt us, we have to do what we believe is right.
I have something to tell you, sister, that isn't going to be easy.
What is that, Father?
Well, you'll be notified shortly that Sister Michael will be in charge here next year.
Oh. Well, she'll be so happy. And will I be her assistant?
It's only fair to tell you, sister, that you're being transferred.
It's going to be difficult to leave St. Mary's, but we shouldn't become too attached to any one place. Any other school may seem strange at first, but as long as I'm around children, I'll be happy. Father, how do you know all this? Have you been writing Mother General again?
Well, yes, I have.
Dear God, help me. Dear Lord, remove all bitterness from my heart. Please help me to see thy holy will in all things. Help me. Oh, please help me.
Sister Benedict. Sister, the cab is here.
Yes, thank you. I'm coming now.
Goodbye, Sister Benedict.
Goodbye, sister.
Sister Benedict, we know your heart will be here, and we'll always remember you in our prayers.
Thank you. Goodbye, Father. Goodbye, sisters.
Sister Benedict, wait.
Yes, Father.
Sister, I can't let you go like this. When the doctor said you were perfect, he was right, but that's what you are, but he didn't mean physically.
But...
Because, sister, you have a touch of tuberculosis.
Then that's why I...
Oh, the doctor, well, he felt we shouldn't worry about it, but, well...
Thank you, Father. Thank you very much. You've made me so happy. I'll get well quickly now.
Oh, of course you will, sister.
Of course I will.
And remember, if you ever need anything, no matter where it is or where you happen to be, just dial O for O'Malley.
I'll remember, Father. O for O'Malley.
The Bells of St. Mary's was produced and directed by Bill Lawrence and was presented through the courtesy of RKO Radio Pictures, producers of Till the End of Time, starring Dorothy McGuire. The adaptation was by Harry Cronman. Bing Crosby will soon be seen in Paramount's Technicolor production, Blue Skies. Ingrid Bergman can now be seen in the Alfred Hitchcock RKO production, Notorious. Music on tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. This is Truman Bradley speaking for Lady Esther. Thank you and good night. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Next, it's time for some laughter and music as we join the Bob Hope Show. Bob welcomes the legendary Bing Crosby and the stunning Jane Russell. What sparks will fly when these Hollywood icons come together? And what witty banter awaits us?
Chesterfields present the Bob Hope Show. Transcribed direct from the U.S. Naval Station at Long Beach, with Les Brown and his band of renown. For Chesterfield's, yours truly, High Aberback. Our special guests, Jane Russell and Bing Crosby. And here he is, Bob Hope!
Thank you very, very much. It's nice being here for the Navy, picking up a little cigarette money. And it's really a thrill to be back on radio this year. In fact, it's even a thrill to think that radio is back this year. You know, this year, for a joke, the sponsor printed my contract on Chesterfield cigarette paper. But before I could get hold of it, it blew into the rolling machine. So please, folks, before you light up, look at your Chesterfield. You may be smoking my future. But I'm thrilled to be back for Chesterfield. Chesterfield also has Perry and Bing, you know, Como and Bromo. Of course, Bing's a natural for a tobacco show with that pouch. And Arthur Godfrey, that's Fort Knox with freckles, he also sells Chesterfields. Incidentally, the Navy Department gave Godfrey a commission. They had to. He threatened to buy his own Navy. But I'm glad to be back working for Chesterfields, even though I didn't know till the last minute they were signing me. You never saw a contract with so many butts. They took so long making up their minds. They took so long making up their minds, I thought they were going to change the name of the cigarette to Eisenhower's. But anyway, see, they took so long making up their minds. But I finally caught them with their cartons down, and I'm here to say that Chesterfield's is a wonderful cigarette, and they really satisfy. Well, I'd rather smoke a Chesterfield than have a date with Jane Russell. I'm getting punchy, ain't I? Sounds like I was in that fight, too. Of course, everything that happens in Hollywood is exaggerated. Hollywood is always in the news. Just this week, the senators objected to the Air Force hiring Frankie Lane to recruit men. I can't understand their objection. I think Frankie Lane might change the Army routine for the better. Instead of waking up the GIs with a bugle, he'll have Jezebel go around and nudge everybody. And using big entertainers could help the recruiting program, but it might cause some confusion. Imagine a poster with a picture of Dagmar in a sweater, and underneath it in big letters, "The Army builds men." And if they use Esther Williams for recruiting, the Army would want to join the Navy. See, she swims, you know. Took so long making up their minds, I thought they were going to change the name of the cigarette to Eisenhower's. But I do want to thank the Chesterfield Company for giving me this opportunity to entertain you wonderful Navy people. And I want to thank Captain Heine. I had dinner with the captain tonight, and he really believes in tradition. I accidentally spilled my soup on him, and he went down with the table. Say, thank you, Hi. That was great. Why don't you run across the street and get yourself some coffee?
Coffee?
Yeah, and take Les Brown and the whole band with you. I can handle the show from here by myself.
Aren't you a little obvious, Bob? Jane Russell's on the show tonight, and you want her all to yourself. Why are you so selfish about girls?
Well, my psychiatrist says I have a neurosis stemming from a prenatal avaricious aberration that lies dormant in the evanescence of my subconscious.
What does that mean in plain English?
Now, come on, all you guys get lost.
Oh, Bob, you have to be like that about Jane. Why are you so afraid to bring a pretty girl out while us fellas are here?
Hi, let me put it this way. If I had to walk through a lion's den, would I wear hamburger earrings? Besides, I happen to know I'm a big favorite with Jane Russell. The other day, the elevator at Paramount was full of handsome leading men, and I was the only one she spoke to.
Really? What did she say?
Let me out at the third floor. Say hi. On the way out, knock on Jane's door and tell her Poochie is waiting, will you? That's what she calls me.
Poochie?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Well, I happen to know she calls her Cocker Spaniel the same thing.
That's what she used to call her Cocker Spaniel, till I proved I could bring back a rubber ball much faster.
Okay, if that's the way you want to be.
Gee, I hope I can get Jane to really notice me. I spent all afternoon getting ready. Well, I get rid of Les Brown and High. Now, if everything goes all right, it'll be clear sailing. Come in, you beautiful doll.
Okay, shall I flutter my eyelashes?
Oh, Crosby!
Thank you.
Well, what are you doing here? Who invited you?
Nobody. This is right on my beat, Long Beach. A lot of good ocean fishing down here, boy.
Oh, working on the cannery again this year, huh?
Oh, now, Rob, you can do better than that.
Easy, Frogman. Look, I'm busy.
Honorable, thanks for the service.
We're very busy here. Why don't you go somewhere and count Gary's royalties?
Oh, no, you don't. You don't do that to me. I'm going to stick around here for the main event. I saw that sign outside that said Jane Russell tonight. Hey, that's for me. That's for me.
Don't get too excited, Dad. Your corpuscles will think you're living again. I hate to disillusion you, Fletcher, but Jane isn't here tonight.
No?
No. So turn off your ignition. We changed our plans. Since we're at the Navy base, we're playing host to one of the older servicemen.
Really?
Yes.
Gee, I'd like to get a look at the old boy. I just passed his dressing room and I got a whiff of Chanel number 5.
Well, he used to be on the SS Missouri, and you know how...
I knew you'd never get past that.
And you know how Truman pampers those fellas. There's a punchline came in sections. So you see, all that's going to happen is we're going to have this old veteran on the show.
Wow, I'm glad you told me. If Miss Russell isn't here, there's no use my sticking around. I'll be seeing you, huh?
Okay, so long.
Hey, Bob, here I am back again. Do you want me to bring Jane Russell out now?
Hi. Have you ever considered having your mouth laced up and selling that pointed head for a football?
Oh, did I say something harmful?
No, not if your mother's still holding your place in line at the unemployment office.
Oh, don't worry, Hi. I'll take care of you. Hi, if old Dungeon Pockets fires you, you can come over and work on my show.
Oh, could I, sir?
Yes, sir.
You mean you'll take me away from all this?
Certainly. Just consider it my contribution to the crusade for freedom. On my show, you'll be your own boss.
Oh, gee, you mean I can have my initials monogrammed on my shorts?
What's on them now?
The Bob Hope Show on every Tuesday night. Don't miss him. He's a wow.
This lad has the sterling qualities that...
Interrupting anything.
Well, Jane, come in.
Oh, thank you, everyone. Hi, Bing.
Hiya, Jane. My, the ancient veterans are getting better looking every year.
And how are you, Poochie?
Jane, I'll have to apologize for the presence of Saggy here. He wasn't invited. He wasn't really invited. He came in on the Grunion run.
Oh, Bob, I'm always glad to see both of you boys, and you know it.
Yeah, but think how much better it would if he weren't here, you and I alone. Jane, we go together like Anthony and Cleopatra, Romeo and Juliet, Artie Shaw and anybody.
Hey, Jane, you'll forgive me for asking, but what is a beautiful star like you doing on this low-class clam bake here with vacuum talent?
Well, you see, Bob promised me a highly dramatic role if I appeared on the show tonight.
Yeah?
I'm to be the star of the play.
Oh, well, heaven knows I'm not one to be suspicious, but exactly what is he trying to rope you into?
Well, he said the play is a saga of a beautiful woman's loneliness. Mm-hmm. It's called The Lighthouse Keeper's Daughter.
Mm-hmm, and unquestionably, he's the lighthouse keeper.
I'm the lighthouse.
Boy, you got the beacon for it. Say, people, I'm sure this little drama would establish new heights in the theater, but I don't see how we'll have time for it. Because you see, perceiving an opportunity for a plug, I thoughtfully brought along a scene from my current cinema smash, Here Comes the Groom.
Ooh, I saw that picture, Bing, and I loved it.
Well, thank you. I rather liked it myself.
You know, the music was excellent.
It had quite a good score.
And your voice was never better.
Thank you again.
Awful lonesome in this lighthouse.
Bob, don't you think that at this point a gracious host would ask Bing to sing something?
Well, don't embarrass him, Jane. Bing can't sing alone anymore. His voice is too weak.
Too weak?
Yeah, he can't get his tonsils to stand up until he gargles with cornstarch. I better do something with mine, don't you? I like cornstarch. That's fun, too. The other night, he and Mel Torme sang a duet together. With Mel pulling and Bing pushing, they finally managed to get the Mockingbird halfway up the hill.
I will give the lie. I'll give the lie to that bass canard here now by knocking out a big fat chorus of a song called Cool, Cool, Cool of the Evening. I think I know the words.
Well, say, old fatso, a lot of these fellas are used to combat, so go ahead.
In the cool, cool, cool of the evening, tell 'em I'll be there. In the cool, cool, cool of the evening, save your pappy a chair. When the party's getting a glow on and singing fills the air. In the shank of the night when the dunes are right, well, you can tell 'em I'll be there. Sue wants a barbecue, Sam wants to boil a ham, Grace votes for bouillabaisse stew. Jake wants a weenie baked steak and a layer cake. He'll get a tummy ache, too. We'll rent a tent or a teepee. Let the town crier cry. And if it's RSVP, this is what I'll reply. In the cool, cool, cool of the evening, tell 'em I'll be there. In the cool, cool, cool of the evening, slick 'em on my hair. And when the party's getting the glow on, singing fills the air. If I'm still on my feet and there's something to eat, well, you can tell 'em I'll be there.
We said the bumblebee, let's have a jubilee. When said the prairie hen, soon. Sure said the dinosaur, where said the grizzly bear, under the light of the moon. Doo-doo.
How about your brother Jackass? Everyone gaily cries. You coming to the fracas, and over his specs he sighs.
In the cool, cool, cool of the evening,
tell 'em we'll be there.
if they want a passel of deadheads,
sort of fracture their affair. Now when the party's getting the glow on and singing fills the air. If there's gas in my hack and my laundry is back, if you need a new face or a tenor or bass, if I can find the right sock by 11 o'clock in the shank of the night when they're fixing to fight, if I can climb out of bed and put a head on my head, well, you can tell 'em we'll be there.
Ladies and gentlemen, it goes without saying that we're happy to be back doing these shows and telling you about Chesterfield. Tonight's show marks the beginning of autumn and the end of a perfect summer.
An almost perfect summer. The vacation interlude was not without its mishaps, Robert. Remember, you fell into the Gunnison River in Colorado.
Yeah, that's right, Bing, and if it hadn't been for Dr. Light down there, I came very close to drowning.
Oh, yes, it was almost a perfect summer.
Quiet, or I'll tell everybody what the doctors found when they opened you up for appendicitis.
What was that?
What a place to hide a coffee can full of dimes.
Oh, get it.
And don't think falling in that Gunnison River was a joke.
Just how did it happen, Bob?
Well, it's quite a story, Jane. I was a long way from civilization, and I noticed a little general store, so I walked in. There was an old codger in there, about 80 years old, and... Well, how do you do?
Well, how to do to you, stranger?
Are you acting or keeping the eggs warm till the hen gets back? Grandpa, is there any fishing around here?
Yep.
Good fishing?
Fair to middling.
Trout?
Well, for them as can catch 'em.
For them as can catch 'em, huh? Well, I'm a fisherman in spite of these city clothes. In fact, I never miss.
I don't miss very often myself.
Look, where can I find a fishing guide around here?
Why, I'm the fishing guide.
You are?
That's right.
Well, fine. Where's the river?
You know, I've been the guide around here 5 years, and you're the first one to ask where the river is. Well, all right, let's go.
I'll see you later, daughter.
Well, here we are, all alone.
You better get started fishing. You know, they won't bite unless you put something on the hook.
Okay. Hey, what's that big thing swimming around in the live bait tank?
That's Father. He likes to keep an eye on me.
Isn't it romantic drifting along in the river like this? How about a kiss?
No. Stay where you are. Oh, don't stand up in the bowl.
Whoops!
Oh! What happened, daughter?
Dad, that's Bob Hope.
It is.
And I can't reach him with the oar.
Well, don't worry, I can.
Oh!
Got him, by Granny. Let's go, daughter.
Why are you rowing to shore so fast?
I don't want anybody to get to Paramount ahead of us and collect the reward.
That's the whole story, Jane.
Quite an experience, Robert. Almost as embarrassing as the little episode that occurred to me in that Canadian hotel.
Yes, I read about your getting thrown out of that hotel, Bing. How could the hotel clerk possibly have thought you were a bum?
Well, they show us pictures up there, too.
Nothing of the kind, Chadwick. A friend of myself had just come back to town after a little fishing and hunting. I hadn't shaved for a few days, so I had quite a crop of alfalfa. We walked into the lobby.
Bing, don't you think we look pretty crummy to be going into a first-class hotel? We look like hobos.
Oh, tut. Doesn't bother me.
I know, you're used to it.
I want to get cleaned up. We got to get these trout into the deep freeze.
Okay, but you talk to the clerk.
Service here. Service, please.
Were you ringing that bell? Oh, I say now, come now, get out of here, you bum. We don't cater to tramps, you know.
Yeah, steady. Forget the whiskers. Don't you know who I am?
No, but I'll wager you're not the president of the Airwick Company. Now, will you please get out of here at once? The wallpaper's starting to peel. Now, be off. Be off, you bounder.
Now, wait a minute. We got some fish that have to go in the hotel icebox.
Look at you. Your appearance is frightful. Just look at those long, unkempt sideburns.
Sideburns? Those are two trout I couldn't get in my pockets. Mister, if you knew who you were talking to, you'd be a little more courteous. I've got an idea. Why didn't I think of this before? Listen. Now, do you know who I am?
Mary O'Lanza's grandmother?
Hey, look, now we got to get a place to stay tonight. Call the manager. Wait till he finds out who I am, boy.
Well, when the manager found out who you were, that did it, Bing. I knew the hotel wouldn't throw you out.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, we're all set. Look at the size of this place. And the fish can't spoil now.
Oh, quiet. I'm tired. Pick out a block of ice. Let's go to sleep, huh?
Oh, Bing, they didn't actually put you in the hotel refrigerator.
On the square they did, Jane, and that temperature was really low. It was so cold in there, my hair stood on end.
Oh, what a pitiful sight. The poor little thing standing there shivering.
I choose to ignore that. Now, Jane, you know, I wouldn't have gotten into that scrape in the North Country if it hadn't been for you. Did you know that?
Me?
Of course. I went up there to heal my injured pride, lick my wounds, after I found out that you were making another picture at Paramount with Jazzbo here instead of me.
How come?
Well, to tell you the truth, I'd like to be in a picture with both of you boys. You know, one of the road pictures.
Well, see, I think we can oblige. Jane, let's see. Where could we make a road to?
Well, I've always wanted to play a Southern Belle.
Well, that's for us. Pull up a bale of cotton and we're off on the road to New Orleans.
Enchanting New Orleans. It's the year 1900. Down at the levee, the show on the showboat is over, and it is moving out into the Mississippi. Janie, the beautiful star of the show, is leaning on the rail of the upper deck, enjoying the moonlight.
Oh, excuse me.
Oh, it's you again.
Now, you got to make up your mind and give me an answer.
Oh, you just think you're in love with me. Why don't you quit following me up and down the river?
Well, that's not easy without a boat.
Besides, sir, this showboat life isn't for you. But anyway, I've already given my heart to Blue Chips Crosby, the gambler. There he is over there. Over there at the roulette table.
Place your bets, everybody, and try your luck. Step up and beat me, folks. I'm as helpless as a hound dog in a hog wallow. I'll take any bets from silver dollars to black-eyed peas.
Hasn't he got a real Southern accent?
Yeah, sounds like Chloe stepped on it with a wet foot. Play us your best. Janie, would you like me better if I were a gambling man?
Well, I might.
Okay, I'm going right over there and getting that game.
Get your chips down, gentlemen, before the wheel spins. Plenty of numbers for everybody.
I'm plunking down $10,000 here on number 12.
I'm plunking down $20,000 on number 17.
Well, I'm laying my platinum watch of $15,000 on number 24.
All set, gentlemen?
Now, oh, pardon me, mister.
Yes?
I'm a little superstitious. Just for luck, would you mind turning my bet over so the buffalo is up? Thanks, you can spin the wheel any time now.
Just take your bet off the board. We don't cotton to you cheap Yankees around here.
Yankees? I want you to know that I'm from the South and I'm proud of it.
And so's the North.
I don't take that kind of talk from anybody.
Very well, sir. I'll be glad to give you satisfaction on the field of honor. Always a pleasure to fight a duel.
I'll fight a duel with you right here and now, Blue Chips, but I want my choice of weapons.
Well, very well. What weapon do you choose?
I'll whisper it to you.
Why, you can't mean it.
I do.
I'd fight you with swords, pistols, even hatchets at 2 paces, but this is inhuman. What about the innocent bystander?
You heard me. I chose the weapon, and that's it.
All right, but it'll be ghastly.
If you're ready, gentlemen, take 6 steps away from each other and turn.
Okay.
Come on to my house, come on. Come on to my house,
Ladies and gentlemen, here's your chance to have a world premiere in your own home.
Someone, maybe you, will have the world premiere of Paramount's My Favorite Spy, starring Bob Hope and Hedy Lamarr in his or her home sometime in December. Bob Hope will also be there in person as host at a dinner for the winner. The contest is open to everyone all over the world, and Bob Hope has personally invited servicemen overseas to participate. The award will be made to the person who writes the best letter explaining why I would like to have My Favorite Spy premiered in my home. Send your letter to Bob Hope Contest, Hollywood 38, California.
Oh, thanks for the memory. This Long Beach naval base, you received us with such grace. The men you train have nerve and brain to help the human race. And we thank you so much.
Listen to the Bob Hope Show next week from Camp Pendleton with our special guests, Hedy Lamarr and Jerry Colonna. Jane Russell is currently starring in RKO's His Kind of Woman. Chesterfield has brought you The Bob Hope Show, written by Marvin Fisher, Norman Sullivan, and Larry Klein. Transcribed direct from Long Beach, California.
This is NBC, the national broadcasting company.
And now, prepare for the delightful absurdity of the Burns and Allen Show. In Gracie adopts Mickey Rooney, Gracie's unique brand of logic leads her to a most unusual decision. Will George be able to manage the chaos that Gracie inevitably creates? And just how grown-up is their new son?
Another cup of Maxwell House coffee, George.
Sure, pour me a cup, Gracie.
You know, Maxwell House is always good to the last drop.
That drop's good, too.
Yes, it's Maxwell House Coffee Time, transcribed in Hollywood and starring George Burns and Gracie Allen. With our special guest tonight, Mickey Rooney, yours truly, Toby Reed, Wally Mayer, Harry Lubin and the Maxwell House Orchestra, and Bill Goodwin.
For America's Thursday night comedy enjoyment, it's George and Gracie. And for America's everyday coffee-drinking enjoyment, it's Maxwell House. Always good to the last drop.
Well, it's pretty hard to surprise a man who's been married to Gracie Allen for 15 years. He's heard everything. But occasionally, even George gets a jolt. For example, today when Gracie said,
George, would you like to have a son?
Sure, Gracie.
Oh, good. Then we're adopting Mickey Rooney.
Adopting Mickey Rooney?
Yes, dear. I've been reading about him in this movie magazine. You know, that poor little child needs a home. Someone to guide him. Look, here's a picture of him driving a car.
Well, what's wrong with that?
Well, that's no plaything for a child. Why, that dear little boy should be cuddling a doll.
Look again, he probably is. Gracie, Mickey Rooney may look like a little boy, but I've got news for you. He's old enough to get married.
Oh, married. Oh, George, you're funny. Well, I'll bet he doesn't know what life is all about.
He knows as much as I do.
Well, there, you see?
We're not adopting Mickey Rooney. If we adopt anyone, he'll be a minor.
Oh, no. I'm not going to have a minor tracking coal dust across my car.
I mean, Mickey is too old to adopt. He's a grown man.
George, he's a child. If he wasn't a child, he wouldn't be going to horse races.
Is that for children?
Well, certainly. I read that the Kentucky Derby is just for 3-year-olds.
Okay, have it your way. Mickey Rooney is a child. We're still not adopting him.
But, dear, he needs a father and a mother. And that happens to work out just right for us. You're a man and I'm a woman.
No other couple can make that statement.
You know, Mickey's becoming a juvenile delinquent. A boy who robs the very studios he works for.
Where'd you get that?
It's right here in this article. It says he steals every picture he's in.
This is murder.
Well, just think of that poor little boy associating with thieves and crooks. Maybe we can keep him from falling in with worse company.
Gracie, he associates with actors.
We're too late, huh?
Yes, and forget it.
But there's always a chance that a good home can save him. And by adopting Mickey, we'll keep 2 children out of mischief.
2 children?
Well, yes, I'll be too busy to get into trouble.
I forgot you're a child.
Well, I'm not really,
yes.
but everyone thinks I am. They think I play with marbles.
You?
Well, yeah, often I've heard people say, I don't think she's got all her marbles.
Yes, I've heard that myself. That's getting around.
Well, I'll run over to Mickey's house and get him.
Hold it. Once and for all, you cannot adopt him. Besides, he won't let you. He'll laugh right in your face.
Well, if he does, I'll push him off the chair he's standing on.
Gracie, I know you mean well, so I hate to get tough with you, but you forced me to. Now, I forbid you even to talk to Mickey Rooney. I command you to stay in this house. That is an order.
Oh, George, I didn't realize you were so strong and masterful.
I am when I have to be.
Oh, you're going to make a wonderful father for Mickey. Now, excuse me while I change my clothes.
By golly, this time I'll head her off. I'll go over and warn Mickey.
What do you want, please?
I want to see Mickey Rooney.
Well, sorry, Mr. Rooney not come home. Mr. Rooney leave town, no come back. Goodbye, please. Chop, chop.
Well, tell him George Burns was here.
Oh, George, wait a minute.
Hi, George. Come in.
Hello, Mickey. What's the idea of the big routine?
I'm hiding out from my studio, George. They want me to play another one of those innocent little kid parts. I'm fed up to the teeth with them.
But, Mickey, you were great as Andy Hardy with Louis Stone as your father.
George, if he tells me about the birds and bees once more, I'll sting him.
Oh, you want to do the grown-up stuff, huh?
Why, sure. Now, there's another part in the same picture that I'd love to do. A tough guy, a killer. This beautiful girl is crazy about me. She's with me when the cops close in. The place is full of tear gas. We're kissing and crying. All right. Come out with your hands up, killer. We got you surrounded. Come and get me, copper. Ah! Oh, killer, you're hit. It's nothing, kid. Just a few ribs shot away. Take that, copper. Killer, you're hit again. Nellie, this is it. It's goodbye. No, killer, don't go. Don't leave me. I can't live without you. I love you, kid. I love you. I'm gonna have to watch that girl, George. She's pretty hammy.
Well, good luck, Mickey. I hope you get the part you want.
Thanks, George. If I can hide from the studio long enough, I think they'll give in.
Well, I just dropped by to warn you that Gracie has made up her mind to adopt you.
Adopt me?
Yeah. She thinks you're a little boy.
Yeah, you see, everybody thinks I'm a kid. I'm the only dancer at the Palladium who gets cut in on by the truant officer.
It's tough, Mickey.
I'll say it is. I buy a girl a present. I take her out in my car. I park. I puck her up, and what happens? She sticks a lollipop in my mouth.
Well, I just thought I'd warn you about Gracie. I told her not to bother you, but she pays no attention to me.
Really? I thought husbands always gave the orders and wives always obeyed without question.
Kid, you not only look young, you are young. So long, Mickey.
So long.
Well, sorry, Mr. Rooney not here. Go away, please. Chop, chop.
Open the door, Mickey. You can't fool me with that English accent.
That's got to be Gracie. Just a minute. Excuse the act, Gracie. I'm hiding from my studio.
Stealing again.
Huh?
Oh, Mickey boy, give up this life you're leading and come live with George and me.
Well, I'd rather not.
Well, everybody will think you're George's real son. You look just like him.
Now I've got 2 reasons to hide.
Look, you need someone to look after you. Why aren't you in school?
I graduated.
Well, that's a pretty lame excuse. And besides, I don't believe it.
Well, Gracie, come inside and I'll show you my sheepskin.
You'll leave your clothes on, young man. I'm not your mother yet. Oh, but I want to be, Mickey. I'll see that you get an education. I'll even hire a private tutor to toot you.
No, look here, Gracie, really, I've been tutored. I've had an education.
Well, we'll see whether you have or not. Spell cat.
Cat?
Haha, it's too tough for you, huh? Well, I'll give you a simpler word. Spell two.
T-O, T-W-O, or T-O-O?
Oh, no, you don't get 3 guesses. You're really in a bad shape.
Look, Gracie, I went to school. Just ask me questions about literature, economics, chemistry, physics. Anything, go ahead.
All right, let's take chemistry.
All right.
Who's the President of the United States?
That, Gracie, is unrelated subject matter.
No, sir. That's Harry S. Truman.
I mean, chemistry has nothing to do with the president. Chemistry is when you put a whole lot of strange things together and get gas or something.
Now, that's Congress.
All right, you win. Let's take another subject. I majored in math and languages, geometry and Latin.
You did, huh?
Yeah, sure.
Let's hear you say something in geometry.
Say something in geometry?
Yes.
All right, let me see. Pi r squared.
Pi r squared. That proves you never went to school. Pi r round. Mickey, you better let me adopt you. You need help.
Yeah. Oh, wait, excuse me, will you, Gracie? Hello.
Aha, I caught you. You are in town.
No. Mr. Looney not here. Mr. Looney leave town. Chop.
Too late, Mickey, too late. I'll be right over to see you.
Darn it. That was my director, Gracie. Now the studio's found me.
Why did you steal those pictures? Oh, they'll send you to prison for life or maybe even longer.
Gracie, wait a minute. What are you talking...
I won't let them. You're too young. I'll take you home and hide you and give you a fresh start.
But, Gracie, I don't have... Hey, wait a minute. The studio wouldn't find me there at all, would they?
Well, never. George's house is the last place anyone would look for an actor.
Mrs. Burns, you've got yourself a child.
Sonny boy.
Mammy. Well, here I am, Mama.
Well, you certainly got here in a hurry, Michael.
Michael? What's with the Michael?
Well, that's your name now, Michael Burns.
But, Mama,
Now, come along and I'll show you your room. Now, this is where you'll sleep.
Well, it's nice. But, George is in that bed. I can see his head sticking out of the covers.
That's a teddy bear.
Oh.
How could you mistake a teddy bear for George?
Silly.
A teddy bear has little fuzzy arms and legs and tiny shoe button eyes and... Well, anyhow, it's not George.
But, Gracie, what's a teddy bear doing in my bed?
Well, I bought it for you. It'll be your companion, your playmate.
Oh?
Well, I'll bet you never had one before with such a lovely fur coat.
I've had a few playmates with the fur coats.
Well, what happened? Did you break them?
No, they broke me.
What?
But let it go, Mama. Just let it go.
Now, over here is your clothes closet. Oh, by the way, I've ordered a new brown suit for you.
New brown suit? Oh, that's great. Light brown or dark brown?
Buster Brown.
Now, wait just a minute, will you, please? I can't wear that.
Oh, Michael, if you want to stay here, you'll do as I say. You know, Mama knows best.
Okay, Mama. I'll wear it on special occasions like when there's an eclipse of the sun.
Well, that's a good boy.
Gracie, I was over... Mickey.
Hello, Daddy.
Huh?
I'm Sonny Boy.
Do you mean to say that you let Gracie adopt you?
Sure, George, sure. My studio will never find me here.
Oh, I get it. Okay, Mickey, I don't mind.
Oh, I'm glad, darling. If we hide him, he'll have a chance to grow into a fine, decent man, just like his daddy.
Sure. He can step right into my shoes.
Oh, that's the perfect place for him to hide.
Yeah, there's plenty of room there.
You know, we must raise him properly, George. Send him to the finest schools and make sure he's not a Republican.
Not a Republican?
I want our boy to be president. I've bought some books to improve his little mind. Now, Michael, sit down and I'll read you a poem.
Michael?
That's my name now.
Oh, Michael.
Yeah.
Yes, Michael Rooney. Nice name.
Now, I shall read Hiawatha by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. On the shores of Gitche Gumee, by the shining Big Sea water, stood Nokomis,
Mom, please, Mom, if you don't mind, I've got something here in my pocket that I'd rather read.
Well, let me have it. I'll read it
No,
to you.
give it to me, will you?
I said I'll read it, Michael.
Mom, give it back.
Now pay attention. In the fifth at Hialeah. There are only 7 entries. Weather poor and track is muddy. Why, it's just like Hiawatha, only prettier.
Look,
Mama, look, Mama, don't...
You know what you're reading?
No, I didn't look at the title.
It's the racing form.
Well, it's the loveliest thing Longfellow ever wrote.
Yes, he was a fine writer.
Well, that's enough culture for now. It's time for your nap, Michael.
My nap? In the middle of the day?
Well, yes, little boys need plenty of rest, don't they, Daddy?
Daddy, that's you.
Oh, yes, yes.
It's time the little man went Betty by.
You rat. All right, Mama, I'll take a nap if Daddy here takes one, too.
Oh, how sweet. Hop in bed with him, George.
Are you kidding?
Now, dear, don't argue. You've got to set our son a good example.
Come to Betty by, Daddy.
And, Michael, don't let the railroad train frighten you.
Does one run by the house?
No, but when George sleeps on his back, you'll think so. When he blows the whistle, turn him over.
I'm not taking a nap.
You get in that bed or Mama will punish you.
I'd like to see you.
Oh, not me. I'll send for my Mama.
Move over, Michael.
Come on.
That's better. Now kiss Mama before you go to sleep, Michael. Kiss Mama.
Okay.
You must be a little older than I thought. Well, now kiss Daddy.
That's it. Wait a minute. That's all, brother.
Now I want this to be a devoted family. Kiss your daddy.
I'd rather play a love scene with Lassie.
Well, 2 days have now passed since Gracie brought little Mickey to live with little George, and all is not peaceful in the Burns house.
Gracie, do you know that Mickey smoked every one of my cigars?
Oh, bless his little heart. He kept his word.
Huh?
He promised me that he'd give up cigarettes.
Nice kid.
Oh, isn't he, though? And he really thinks of you as his father. Every time he makes a long-distance call, he says, charge it to my father, George Burns.
Gracie, that boy, one of these...
Hiya, Pop. Hello, Mama.
Oh, hello, Michael.
By the way, Pop, here's the keys to your hot rod.
I've got a brand new car. It's not a hot rod.
It is now. I took the fenders off.
Oh, no.
Oh, Michael, you mustn't take the fenders off Daddy's car. You'll get your hands all dirty.
See who that is, Gracie. I'm taking Michael in the den for a little tour.
Huh?
Come along.
Oh, wait a minute, George.
Come in.
Well, hi, Gracie.
Hello, Bill. We haven't seen you all week. Where have you been?
Oh, out of town. I ran up to San Francisco.
Oh, you must be out of breath.
Yeah. What's new, Gracie?
Oh, there's wonderful news. George and I have a son.
No kidding. When did he arrive?
Just a few days ago. His name is Michael Burns.
Well, gee, tell me all about it. How much does he weigh?
About 120 pounds.
120 pounds.
Well, he is small, but I love him anyhow.
But Gracie...
You know, the only bad thing about him, the little rascal smokes George's cigars.
This kid I gotta see.
He's in the den with George. I'll open the door and you can peek in.
Holy murder, I knew it. George is so old, he had an old baby.
I'll put an end to this. I'll phone Mickey's studio and tell his director to come and get him.
answer it, Mama. Wally, how did you know I was
Never
here?
mind that now. I've got good news for you.
Wait a minute,
Now, wait a minute. We've decided to give you the part you wanted. You know, the tough guy. Come on, let's get going.
Gee, but wait a minute, it won't be so easy to break the news to Mama.
Mama?
Yeah, Mrs. Burns, she thinks she adopted me. What a time I've had here.
Well, they must have treated you right. You look great.
Oh, Wally, I feel great. Never eaten such good food in my life.
Really?
Yeah, what a cook her husband is.
Well, now, look, Mickey, I got an idea. Living here has put you in great shape. So why don't you stay here while you learn your new part?
Uh-huh.
I'll come over every day and work on it with you.
Yeah, it's not bad, Wally.
Gee, it's too bad I can't live here, too.
Wait a minute. Maybe you can. If Mrs. Burns adopted me, why shouldn't she adopt you?
Oh, Mickey, only a woman who's daffy would do that.
You're as good as adopted. Come along and follow my lead. Mama, I'd like you to meet Wally. Wally's my best friend.
Hello, Mrs. Burns.
Hello, Wally. Oh, aren't you a little old to be a playmate of Michael's?
Mama, we're the same age. Wally just looks old because he's had such a terrible life. He was raised in poverty.
Is that far from Los Angeles?
About 20 miles. When he was a tiny baby, he was left on a doorstep, Mama.
Oh, he's a stepchild.
Say, Mama, why don't you adopt him too, huh?
Well, would you be happy here, Wally?
Oh, yes.
Oh, well, then I'll do it. My, it's a wonderful age we live in. It took my mother almost a year to have a child, and in less than a week I have two of them. Oh, it's your father, boys. Wait here. Hello, George. Oh, something happened while you were gone.
Yeah, I figured that it would.
Well, come in the other room with me.
Okay. Mickey. And who's this?
Hello, Daddy.
Huh?
I adopted another son, George. Oh, how cute. Daddy's going to play games with you boys. He's getting a baseball bat out of the closet.
Wait a minute! We don't want to play!
From heartwarming tales of faith to hilarious misadventures in adoption, this episode of Classic Radio Drama Theater has offered a delightful mix of classic radio. We hope you enjoyed this journey through these diverse and engaging stories. Which one captured your imagination the most? Share your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode. Until next time, remember, the power of story can transport us anywhere.